Peace. I want to say Thursday update, but it just happens to be Thursday. I don't think this is a Thursday. I think I shelved that. I don't think I do Thursday updates no more. But I was cleaning up today, and I was thinking, and I think this is just some overflow from yesterday after seeing Get Out and feeling like an artist again and inspired and part of being the part of the writing fraternity, so yeah, I'm on that. It's not completely a high, but I'm productive and been working, anyway, doing some stuff. But I used to have a whole bunch of followers. Matter of fact, I specifically friended on Facebook a bunch of people who were writers. So we would talk about writing here and there. I used to make a whole bunch of posts about writing. I don't do that as much, but I'm going to try to get back on it. But we would dialogue back and forth. And what kind of happened and why I kind of fell off, I got a tad bit disillusioned because, I had a bunch of writers or supposed writers, and I made posts about this. People who always talk about being writers or talk about the craft of writing, but they weren't ever, completing any writings. As much as some of them would do was, crank out some poems. No offense, but, it's easy to write a poem. I've written hundreds. So, I was trying to build with other authors, people who were going to be putting out books, and that's not the audience that I ended up connecting with. Nothing against, much love out to anybody who even tries. It's not easy to finish a book, So I'm not knocking them or nothing like that. But I stopped doing the videos, which were for the writers. I stopped sharing a lot of the memes, which were for the writers. And then the greater audience didn't care about that stuff as much anyway, so I didn't get a lot of feedback. And I work off feedback. When I'm doing something and I feel like I'm not getting no feedback off of it, I stop doing it. There's like other stuff I could do. It's like, all right, we're going to scratch that project and we're going to try something else. But in my heart, I am a writer. And as far as what I do with literature, I would like to see many more writers, because the whole game gonna have to change if we're gonna change what people think, and we're gonna have to change what people think if we're gonna eventually change society. And a lot of that information need to be placed in these books, fiction and nonfiction. Fiction is important too. Fiction is like a back door. If you got some really informative fiction, person doesn't open that book with these with all their prejudices and preconceived notions up front, like with nonfiction. With nonfiction, you're gonna pick it up like, okay, what is this book about? Either I already like this subject or I don't. So it's like, when I go into it, it's like I'm already questioning the author. Who is he or she to say this or that? I know this and I feel this. Well, fiction, the typical reader doesn't go into it like that. You really expose yourself to what's going on in fiction. You kind of open yourself up to the journey and where the author is going to take you. So if the author is good at what he or she does, they can teach you some stuff along the way. And that's what I try to do. But I want to talk about writing just a little bit. Just a little bit. It's already longer than I wanted it to be. I did all this talking. Tell you what, doing them live videos and drinking, and I'm not drinking now, but yeah, I'm a lot more comfortable in front of the camera, so I guess I'm getting something out of that. But I was thinking, I was cleaning up, and I thought about honesty. One of the hardest things to do as a writer, for those few people who are writers who still tune in and want to get that advice from me, a lot of you do it inbox, but yeah, honesty. And I was just thinking like, yeah, honesty is like really important. And I'm not talking about Trump and alternative facts and that type of stuff. You can have a narrator that lies the entire story. That's not the type of honesty I'm talking about, because I appreciate a narrator that knows when to lie and when not to lie. And, somebody who has read some of my books out there, I do have a narrator that is, I wouldn't say dishonest, but he or she is real tight with information, difficult to get along with, but it serves a purpose. All narrators, They take you at a pace that you need to go if the author knows what he or she is doing. But back to honesty. What I mean is you have to be honest, not only with your audience, but like I say, I'm not talking about fact and lies and stuff like that. Somebody who, when you get your voice as an author, that is your honesty. That is you knowing what you're good at. There's some things I can do in writing well. There's some things I don't do as well. And my honesty is like, yo, I'm not going to do a bunch of this because I'm not good at doing this. I'm always bring it back to what I'm strong. I mean, sometimes you got to mix and match and put stuff in there because you don't want to bore your audience. But I'm going to always bring you back to my talent, to what I do best. And that's part of my honesty. That my honesty is knowing like, yo, this type of writing is not you. Pulling out a whole bunch of 50 cent, 75 cent words is not the way you write. You know, I mean, I can read them, you know, because I read those words and I comprehend them, but pulling them out in my writing is not my style. Now, I have some heavy concepts. That's part of my style. It's a lot of philosophy and the concepts might be heavy, but you don't want to have a heavy concept with a whole bunch of big words. Audiences don't like that. I don't like that, you know, and I try to write the type of stuff that I would like to read, but that's what I mean by honesty. And that honesty is not honesty with the audience, which you're going to be anyway, but the point is we have to be honest with ourselves. That's one of the biggest revelations I learned in writing is every time I'm deep into a big project, I'm learning about myself. I'm learning how far I can push myself. I'm learning what thoughts I'm comfortable sharing, which ones I'm not comfortable sharing. And I often try to push myself further along to stretch those boundaries of what is comfortable. And I especially do that in novels. I mean, them things are a struggle. And it's not a struggle because of subject-verb agreement or having a story to tell. I got so many damn stories in my head. No, the comfort is like, yo, what can I tell these people? Because I'm opening myself up, sharing this information. What can I tell them and still be comfortable with who I am? That's honesty. You know, it's like sitting down in a therapy session. Not under no hypnotism or something, but you know, you got somebody who's at a certain authority level and you telling them about your life. That's what happened. That's what authors do. That's why I always respect all authors. I don't care if I like your work or not. I definitely respect just the engagement to put this information out there about yourself. And it don't have to be an autobiography. Everything you do is coming through the filter of you. So it's still about yourself. But yeah, to get your voice down for those who are still in the stages where you haven't, the difference between a veteran author and one who isn't as, you know, secure in their craft is honesty. And at honesty of knowing what you can and can't do, knowing, you know, the ways you can tell a story, that is your voice. So when I was cleaning up, I found a lot of my old works. I'm a pack rat. It's ridiculous. I got like really old revisions of all types of stuff. It's like a museum. The only problem is it's not organized. It's scraps everywhere. You know, it's edits everywhere. And I'm looking at, oh shit, this is one of the first lines I wrote to this book or whatever. So it's cool to have that stuff, but it ain't as cool if it's not organized. But I look at some of the lines and I see where I began and where I'm at now, and I do that comparison. That's why I never throw the stuff away. I wish it was all digital, but I mean, I got old computers that crashed and this and that. You know, I don't have a lot of my first copies of a lot of stuff because of that. But yeah, I can still see my voice way back then. Stuff I wrote back in my early 20s, I could see my voice. Now it wasn't sharp as it is now, but I can see the honesty. I could see who I was trying to be as a writer developing way back when. And that's what made me think about the honesty thing. And that's what made me think about making a video for anybody who still follows and cares what somebody who considers himself an author, and other people respect me as an author, but who's still in the hood and who's still grinding. If you care about my perspective, and if it can help you along the way, that's my piece for today. I can always be found on Facebook and evolutionarybooks.com and all that. Yeah, just hit me up if you want some more information or something. All right, peace. We're gonna do a breakdown show later. I'm completely sober now. I probably won't be later, but it still should be a good show. All right, peace.